her question is, we talked about more partners and different revenue models so that we can grow. First and foremost is the one we talked about with AirTran, and I'll talk a little bit more maybe about that to help you see that. Everything is associated with flying. First of all, let me make sure I understand. Everything is associated with flying the fleet type that we have today. We're not looking, would love to get into bigger aircraft if there's more scope. Our objective is to fly under the banner of a major carrier or a discount carrier. We're not looking to go outside the box and start our own code back up like we did decades ago. We have a fundamental belief that everything has to be anchored in somebody else's marketing abilities and marketing code. When we go to AirTran, what we've seen is a unique opportunity for a discount carrier like AirTran to get a little bit of a taste of what that connect traffic is. And we were optimistic when we went into this that it would have good results, but we had to wait and see, 6-8 months to make sure that it was going to deliver what we thought it was going to deliver. I can tell you that it's delivered about what we thought it would, but I think it's exceeded AirTran's expectations over what they thought it would deliver. The connect traffic that's helping their presence here in Milwaukee is fantastic to their model. Our operating relationship with them is awesome. The cultures are very much aligned, and as we work to implement what we started here in Milwaukee with AirTran and continue to execute it, they've been very, very pleased with that. So as it relates to new revenue models, this is one that's unique, that they've turned a lot of the marketing over to us, more so than our other partners on a traditional prorate arrangement, where we go to the local communities and have a lot more involvement than what we've had in the past. So we've got a spectrum now that we're working on. We still like contract flying. We're not abandoning the contract model, but we're being sensitive to what the major carriers want with that model, which sometimes contract flying works for them, sometimes it doesn't work for them. In Milwaukee right now, this modified prorate operation that we have here with AirTran is working fantastic for them. We're going to probably modify it a little bit to make sure it works for us. We're taking this to other people that are not our partners. A lot of what we do, and we say this all the time, we think that it's critical to have good dialogue with our existing partners and new partners all the time to find out what models are going to work out best for them. Right now, when oil's down around 70 or so, prorate's a great place to be. There may be coming a time when we may want to shy away from this model and try to push more toward contract if oil starts to climb up out of the roof again. So I think the number one thing that we do from the revenue side, there's cost containment in our model that we're pretty good at. But from the revenue side, we're always open to being very open-minded to find new ways to work out relationships with new partners, with existing partners, and experimenting in how we can meet their needs in a wide range of areas. So today we have contract flying, we've got some subsidized prorate flying, then we got some pure prorate flying over here with AirTran. So we've got a pretty wide scope there, and we continue to think that a hybrid of those or a mixture of those, depending on the partner, is probably going to be where the secret is. And we've grown a lot with our prorate operation this last year. I think on an RJ basis we should have, let me get the number right. I think we probably have about 23 aircraft that are CRJ 200s under prorate, and about 40 EMBs, EMB 120 30-seat turboprop aircraft that are under prorate. And we're projecting it to be, several $100 million a year. So it's a big part of our operation. We're putting more dedicated resources into the marketing team to see if this is something that we want to continue to pursue. Right now it looks good, and through the busy season it looks really well for us. So that was a really long answer, Catherine. Sorry about that. My people tell me not to spend that much time answering a question. Sorry. Yeah.
We just had an excellent session on social media, and it goes to show that despite not being a brand that's sold over the counter, people do recognise who's flying the aircraft. There's sort of brands that show. So how have you reacted to social media? Which channels are you using? And if you're not, how, I don't know if you saw the session, how much has it inspired you to make sure that you own your name on Facebook and on Twitter and everything like that?
I saw bits and pieces. We're talking about social media and what we're doing about it under the circumstances, having to, fly with a major partner where you sell the ticket with the major partner, but we operate it. And so I saw some of the format. I didn't see all of it, but let me back up and say, SkyWest, we love our brand. You know, I mean, if any of you have seen our 35-year anniversary airplane, we love our brand, and we, you know, it's not easy flying that in and out of Atlanta all the time, but we do love flying our brand, and it's an internal thing more than it is an external thing. I mean, internally, our employees are very, very engaged in this model that we've had for, you know, 38 years now. And so from a social media, you know, perspective, there are challenges that we have internal to the company with social media, trying to make sure that we preserve our brand in the right way, and also externally. What we tried, I'm sorry.
I'll give you an example that Brett put up. He said somebody was commenting about a PSA flight that they were, so they knew who was doing the flight. That's what I mean. Therefore, PSA would have to be the one to respond. And if it was your flight, how would you respond over the outgoing social media?
More specifically, the outgoing social media with respect to
the big wide world, actually reaching out to Twitter and things like that.
You know, relative to social media, as it relates to our revenue model, we actually still don't do anything with that. I mean, we still rely on the AirTran models and the Delta models and the United models to control all of the social media relative to the revenue model. Now, when it comes to the operating model, because every single one of our airplanes, as required by the FAA, you have to label your airplane, and when you get a ticket and you print out your ticket and boarding pass, even though it was bought on Delta or United or AirTran, it still says operated by SkyWest Airlines. We haven't seen a significant impact relative to the operating side, unless, you know, something detrimental happens, you know, from a safety perspective, which we really haven't seen from, you know, that social media side. But from a revenue perspective, we still rely very, very heavily, as is our strategy with our revenue side. Rely on the marketing folks and everything like that to push the ticket brand. But it's interesting, because as we go to Milwaukee here and we sit down and talk to the people that are flying on SkyWest, you know, airlines here, they know who we are, and I'm surprised by that. It's not just because we've got our own paint scheme and that kind of stuff that's a little independent of what we do with Delta and United, which is helpful. Relative to that, you know, that's actually very good for us. But from a revenue perspective, we'd still have to really, really push going toward Delta United and leveraging the power that they have for marketing and for the revenue dollars we have. So, does that address, or did I still miss the mark?
There's bits we could go over, but we'll leave it for that.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes.
When you were just referring to the operating model, you said it's working fabulously for AirTran, but there are slight ways you might modify it to make it work better for you.
Well, she asked, we talked about the prorate model with Airplan that's working fabulously for them, and there's some things that we would tweak. First and foremost, it's a 50-seat aircraft. You know, we'd love to fly it with a bigger aircraft and get a little bit more cost benefit. Some of our markets, that works great. You know, there's a little bit of scope dialogue going on with AirTran and their pilots right now. A little bit of the cost model. You know, anytime you go out with an initial assumption of what it's going to be, your costs are going to be, we estimate that what they're going to be, but we're bringing some of them down, and we're sharing more with AirTran, small stuff, reservation costs, some of the handling costs, you know, a little bit of those types of things where we're balancing the relationship a little bit more to make sure it's long-term profitable for both of us. And I think that's the key in that relationship for both of our sides, is that we're committed to this relationship. We want it to be long-term sustainable. And you know, we'll continue to work on a model that's going to evolve to make sure that it is that way. But it's a great partnership, and you know, not that our other partnerships aren't either. I think it's refreshingly good because you know, there was a little bit of risk in this relationship, of them being a discount carrier and us approaching it with 50-seaters, and it's worked out very, very well, and largely has to do with some good similar cultures and philosophies about, you know, long-term approach to it.